Yeah, we're almost there. You ready? I'm not, you can tell that. Here we go. Great lot of female panellists in tonight. All beautiful, all talented, all opinionated. And that's just the recipe we need for a good show. Your letters for discussion are these. Are we over there now? We are indeed. Here we go. That's letter 2. First one, who's listening? We're very obviously and very scarily being watched and probably manipulated. Well, we hope you're watching. Manipulated? Who's doing that? Second letter tonight. They spit, they burp, they fart, they swear, they yell. It's not his family. Who is it? Is it a woman? Yes, it is. It's not a yes, woman. Lorraine writes into us. Who's she talking about? There's a whole section of our community. Is she right? We'll see. Last letter tonight. I was handed a pamphlet today, infuriating me because it was spouting those rubbish lines. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Yes, the gun lobbies making a launch for it in Australia to change our legislation. Is it going to happen? We'll see. Don't go away. Sweet and Sour coming up right now. Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for a terrific episode tonight. They're all beautiful. Oh. They're all here. You want to meet them straight away? Hello, my mate Deanna.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Dirt bin.
Dirt bin,
Do
dirt
people
bin.
at home know what we're talking about? Yes, they do, because I always get to know wrong.
Yeah.
Deanna Dirt Bin, because your grandfather always used to call you Dirt Bin after Deanna
After
Durbin.
Deanna Durbin, they're actress from like
Hey,
the 40s or
you've
something.
been everywhere.
Yeah.
Where are you coming home from now?
Oh, I just spent a couple of weeks in the US. It was. I went over there to take photos of my sister's winery business. Right, they make wine.
Your sister has a winery business?
Yeah, my sister has a winery business.
When are we booking, team?
It's pretty amazing. So I had a beautiful time over there taking photos of vineyards and wineries and wine production. It was really amazing. And I came home and then the whole place caught on fire. California's been on fire for 2 weeks.
Oh.
No, like a lot of Napa Valley has been on fire for 2 weeks.
Can we batten down the furniture here tonight? Thank you very much, just in case. She seems to have a trail behind. Nice to see you again, my darling.
You too.
First timer tonight. Hello, Darlene.
Hi.
Now, there's a lot of people at home going, yeah, I know her face, but where from?
Oh, stage? Maybe? No.
Are you going to sing for us tonight?
No.
Oh, can we pull your...
Only if Alex does.
Oh, all right. Welcome. Have fun. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Now, all those years ago, I remember seeing you
Yes.
with 2 other performers.
Yes.
And you were in uniform.
Yes.
And
we
what
were
was-
called Red Hot and Blue and we used to do a tribute to the Andrews sisters.
Now they all know at home.
Yes.
Yeah. Even Deanna just went, yeah, I remember. Terrific. Did you used to sing?
Yes.
And
I
what,
came second in the Italian Song Festival.
where was that, in
That's
Italy
where
or
I
here?
first, here.
Here?
And I sang in a band, yeah. And
Who
I sang in
voted?
a piano bar.
Who voted?
The whole judges, I guess.
Were they Italian?
No?
Were you singing in Italian?
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, the Italian Song Festival, what do you think?
Ah.
Yes, and I'm at uni, really busy.
Okay,
Just
we'll
in
talk
case you
about
wanna
that some
ask
other
me.
time. No, it's all right. That's good. You're always busy.
I know.
Now, the lady next to you is always very busy. First time on the panel, welcome. Hello, Lulu.
Hello, darling. How are you?
When do you get time to get onto a panel like this for a start? What, driving teacher?
Yes,
Who for?
Eclipse Driving School, the best in the West.
The best in the West. What else do you do? Tell us.
I just qualified as a counsellor in July. And
What about your artistry?
I just won the People's Choice Award at the Mandurah Crabfest. Wow. And then in May I won the Mayor's Award at Stretch Festival in
How
Mandurah.
talented are you?
Fantastic.
All
And
of
I
our
sleep
ladies are
occasionally as
talented.
well.
Terrific to have you all tonight. Here we go with letter 1. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
You didn't say anything. What does this mean?
Yes.
All right, there you go. Darlene is also ready. Here we go. Hey, Mitch and panel. We are very obviously and very scarily being watched and probably manipulated. I heard all that stuff with the Russians interfering online with the American elections, but I really didn't give it much thought until my Facebook tagging and emails got my uni mate into a horrible situation. He's a student from China. He told me that the stuff I shared got his family hassled back in his home country by Chinese officials. His family were warned about their son's involvement in anti-Chinese activities and organisations at uni. He didn't do anything. I was the one trying to get him involved in human rights issues like the Yes campaign. He was so stressed and scared that he begged me never to tag him or send him anything political again. How can this be allowed to happen in Australia? What else is happening that we're totally unaware of? What can we do? We've got to let everyone know. Are the Russians and the Chinese the only ones to do this? We have to stop this before the whole world is scared to act on anything, and it comes to us from Petros of North Balwyn in Victoria. Alex, did you know it was happening on this massive scale and it's actually happening here in Australia?
Yes.
You did know?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Like at uni, I'm doing one of my core units is identity and culture, and it goes it's learning all about what's going on in the world and how everything's changing at a rapid pace, and how everything's monitored and how people are acting compared to how they used to act, and how we don't do anything face to face anymore. It's all done with technology, so emailing, texting. We get watched with so many things, especially on Facebook. If you think when you get a little thing and it says click here and oh, what star sign are you, or what personality were you before you were, you know, what were you in another life? Every time you click on one of those things, you're giving away your information, and that gets stored somewhere else. And so just recently I had a scam sent to me. It was from a friend of mine saying, is this you, on YouTube? You click on it and it's you've won an iPhone, and it's like, oh no, you know, once you've done that,
I've
that's it. Your information is then stored somewhere and you get spammed. So yeah, we get watched by the government. I'm sure there's lots of things.
We're aware of the commercial ones, but we don't even think about
well,
the
technology is just it's just rapidly expanding like crazy.
Lou?
Yeah, red flags on electronic devices.
Big red flags.
Yeah, so, and the other thing is, of course, it didn't happen here in Australia, it happened in China. So, you know, it's beyond our personal control. Arguably, it's beyond our government's control.
Yeah, it stands to reason that it's happening though, because, you know, Alex just said, you know, it happens commercially, and governments are so insecure, they need to have surveillance. So, guess what? It's happening there too, probably more intensely. Deanna?
Yeah, look, I think it's naive to think that it's not happening everywhere all of the time anyway. It's the nature of humanity, it's the nature of politics, it's the nature of government, it's the nature of isolated countries that are trying to gain power over other spaces. It's what happens. We are going to be watched and categorised and manipulated constantly. The only thing that you can really do is work out what it is that you stand for and stand up for it. Yeah. And if your friends don't want to be involved, don't involve them. But stand up for what you believe in.
Darlene, how aware are you when you're sitting at the computer that everything that you're doing is going somewhere else?
Oh, look, I probably don't think so much about it.
Neither do I.
But what can I say? I suppose you've got to respect other people's cultures, you've got to respect other people's views, and I think we've all learnt, you don't tag people unless you get their permission for things on social media, and what's the other thing I said? But if you're scared of social media, there's no point in being frightened of it. It's here, we can't do anything about it. Go with the flow.
We are a controlled society.
Absolutely.
And if we didn't have some sort of control, there would be, you know, chaos.
That's exactly right.
They control us.
We asked you people at home, do you believe that the Chinese and the Russians are significantly meddling in the affairs of other nations via the internet? Well, hey, what? Everyone is. These are the results. Here we go. Only 63% of you were aware, and there's 37% that are completely oblivious to the fact that this is happening everywhere now and everybody has to be mindful of it. When we come back, we're going to be talking about young people and manners. Don't go away, more of Sweet and Sour coming up with the ladies. See you soon.
Young people and manners all.
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
And for everyone who does send us a letter, we're going to send you to the movies, as we do every week. courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is Home Again, starring, do you know?
No.
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, right.
There you go. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I saw her, yeah.
Sure.
Is she going back to Alabama again or something?
No.
movies.
That was a good film. I like it. High, Mitch and Sweet and Sour. They spit, burp, fart, swear, yell, and they don't care who's around, and they do it everywhere in public. Do I say anything, or do I keep my mouth shut because I just don't know? There I was shopping at the local shopping centre during what I found out later was the school holidays. And every group of teenagers displayed the same disgusting, loud and filthy behaviours. I may have been quite oblivious before. But it's the first time I've noticed this happening, and it was everywhere. I was feeling very unnerved by the whole experience, and on the way back to my car, feeling really uncomfortable, a teenage boy spat, not at me, but certainly in my direction, and he had not the slightest inclination to think that his behaviour may have discomforted or offended passers-by. Do the panellists think that this is isolated to particular low socioeconomic areas, or has self-respect become a concept too hard to be understood by today's young people? Lorraine of Cannington in WA. Deanna.
I think that's the key point. If you don't want to hang out with Deros, don't live in Cannington. This is what I'm thinking. If you don't want to get spat on, don't shop at Carousel. Like, really?
So are you saying it's not everywhere?
No.
Well, I live in Bassendean and no one's spitting on me at my shopping centre.
Okay, that's true.
I mean, look, I don't know. I think it's dangerous to categorise a whole entire demographic on a single experience. And she says it's a single experience. It's never happened to her
And it
before,
was also
right?
school holidays.
And it was
when
school holidays.
When you've got a mob mentality.
Oh, they just get all feral and
lowest common
disgusting.
denominator.
You know, it's what they do. But so I don't think you should categorise and, you know, generalise about a whole entire demographic or even social.
Are we
social
less
group.
polite now, or the same as we were 25 years ago, a generation
Society
ago?
changes. Of course, things are different now than they were then. And I think culturally we're probably less polite than everyone was 10 years, 20 years, 50 years ago, you know? Yeah. But like I said, I think it's dangerous to categorise people based on a single experience. Go and shop at some other places and see what it's like.
Self-respect. Have we lost self-respect? Darlene?
Well, I think many years ago when I was a teenager, we had respect for our elders, whether they be 10, 20, 30 years older than us, and we could mix it with the older generation. I don't think the youth of today can. So you've got to use certain psychology with them, I think. And I suppose that starts at home too. Parenting starts at home. Yeah.
Self-respect.
Yeah.
Millennials have like a different attitude
Different
to us.
attitude.
They've got everything. It's a now, give me now. It's a instant gratification attitude that they have, that because they've been brought up with technology, that everything is right there, bang, straight away. They got it. They don't know what it's like to wait for a phone call or wait for the mail.
That's not their fault, is it?
No, it's just
we're the
that's their
same.
attitude because they don't know any better. But I had to say, you know, I was thinking, where are you hanging out? Are you hanging out at Cannington and you're seeing that? I mean, I've not only seen young people burp, fart, spit and all that, I see old people do that. I mean, I even burp, fart, spit, yell.
But you don't do it on anybody else, do you?
No, of course not. But if I've got the roof off my car, I might drive along and go, and I go, oh, God, I hope no one was around. You just don't realise. But
There's a lot of
And
self-respect.
everyone picks their nose in the car.
Oh,
too,
who doesn't?
You know, like who doesn't?
bit hard in the engine.
Using a tissue, people. A tissue.
A tissue. Come on, driving instructor. Why does everybody pick their nose in cars?
I think they're invisible.
Seriously.
Oh.
Because they are not organised to have a box of tissues to hand, people.
Says the lady in the cardigan.
Just call me Alice, 1952. Yes, no. Look, and they were a bit concerned about, should I say something to this person who just spat straight in front of them? And a lot of people don't have the confidence to reprimand someone personally because
Yes,
it's
that's true.
confrontational. Anything can happen, but I tend to tease people and say, oh, darling, are you all right? Because spitting like that spreads tuberculosis, and it's sometimes their first, are you okay? Do you need to see a doctor? And then they go, oh, am I okay? You know. So I always kind of drowned them in kindness. And then you can see
Smart.
the guilt kind of drown it.
Clever approach.
Look at it and go, ooh, that's a good one.
Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to encourage that sort of behaviour? We asked you people at home, Do you believe there is a growing decline in both respect for others and self-respect in the modern world? And here's what your responses were. 69% said yes, there is a growing decline. And 31% said no. I wonder who the 31% were
Probably
there.
the young people.
They don't notice.
Don't know any difference.
They can't tell the difference. All right.
They can't see it.
When we come back, we're talking about gun control, which has been pretty effective in Australia over the last 20 or so years. Don't go away. The ladies on gun control. See you soon.
I hope you're enjoying Sweet and Sour because it's the most amount of fun you can have with your clothes on.
Though. That's not necessarily a problem. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. We're already into it over here. Hi, panellists. You know, I think we must be living in an intelligence vacuum. We have had what I believe effective gun control laws in place since John Howard took the initiative after the Port Arthur massacre and gave us the NFA, National Firearms Agreement. We haven't had a single mass gun murder in Australia in all this time. Not only that, but incidents of suicide by guns and accidental death from gunshot have continued to decline dramatically. I'm so dismayed to find many politicians who've been pursued and seduced by the Shooters Union, our gun lobby here, and they're working on a public strategy to water down the legislation to make firearms more accessible. I was handed a pamphlet today infuriating me because it was spouting those rubbish lines that the American gun lobby push. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. It's begun. When the profit motive is in, the competition will kill community ethics and morality, and sooner or later the dollar wins. The gun lobby has so much money, I'm frightened that we may end up awash in firearms again like stupid Trump land. I've hopped onto the email to you the moment I arrived home, and that was from Barbara of Allenby Gardens in South Australia. I wonder why they're targeting South Australia first. Oh, interesting. Lou, first up.
Okay, so first of all, my son Callum, where are you? Because he knows so much about this. He's very good.
Hello, Callum.
But yeah, I too hate this thing about guns don't kill people, people kill people, because it's just a nightmare. And we're talking about the USA, not Trump land. He doesn't own the place. He might act as if he does, but yeah, I think it's true. We do have pretty good gun control. We don't know enough about and understand enough about the gun laws. The main thing is that we don't want to be like America. As much as Trump wants to pull in the guns off the streets, once it's out there, it's out there, and it's too bad. So I think that you know, we just have to do the best that we can to keep as many guns off the streets. And the one thing that I will say is, politicians, you need to have a regular gun amnesty to get the illegal guns off the streets.
Agreed. Alex?
You know what? Australia's got nowhere near the population of America. And the thing is that if you're living in America and there's so many derelicts everywhere and people come in, they break into your house, they carjack you. We're getting carjacking here now more and more, but in America it's rife. And of course, if I was living in America, I would have a gun for protection. Me too, and that's it's just a fact.
Guns beget guns. You would have a gun in America. You would,
because there's just your safety. It's just your safety. I'm glad that we live in Australia because we don't have that problem yet. But who's to say, as we progress in society with more and more people coming here, different cultures that have different traditions, and like more and more carjackings and robberies and stabbings, it's all going to happen because of how many people are coming in here. And it's all, you know, like we were talking about society of control. There's got to be some kind of control to keep this all intact. But, you know, I hate that guns don't kill people, people kill people. You don't need a gun to kill someone. You can strangle them, you can stab them, you can poison them.
Guns are designed to kill people. Sorry, they're designed to kill.
Yes.
They're not designed to kill people necessarily.
Unless you're in the
Cars.
armed forces.
If you're living in the,
Unless you're in the
farmer,
armed forces.
you do need them there because, you know, like a
They're
friend
designed
of mine,
to kill. Cars aren't designed to kill.
He had 20 chickens killed by a fox, so I think, Yeah, kill that fox.
We asked the question of you at home, do you agree that Australia's gun laws need to be reviewed and relaxed? 31% of people said yes, they do. 31% said yes.
Of course, there's going to be a certain part of the population that feels that way.
Well, hopefully they're the responsible people who are living in areas where you need guns, because that I understand. 69% of people said no. Okay, Darlene.
Well, I think we're the lucky country here. I've got a friend that lives in New York, and she always gets told by Americans, she's originally from Perth, but she always gets told by the Americans that Australia is the golden land. And we are, we're very lucky, and it would be really sad for us not to have gun control laws. And I say keep the guns in the old cowboy movies.
Keep the guns in the old cowboy movies. Deanna, dustbin.
Look, there's always going to be people that feel a different way to how you feel or I feel or any of you guys feel. All you have to do is look at this whole yes, no, marriage thing to realise that there is a certain population of people who don't want it to happen, and there's a certain population of people who do want it to happen. I got handed a pamphlet about, you're allowed to say no to gay marriage, and I think it's a load of rubbish. I think everyone should be allowed to do whatever they want in that space.
As long as you don't hurt anybody.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, right? So, I say this at the start of the show, at the first question, stand up for what you believe in. If you think that the gun laws should be stricter, stand up for it. If you think the gun laws should go away, you're probably going to stand up for that as well. Hopefully you're in the minority though.
All right, let's take a quick vote. I don't think we have to, do we? Who thinks we should be relaxing gun laws?
I think perhaps we need to relax them a little bit because Australia...
Where?
Well, Australia deems air rifles the same as guns. I mean, like an air rifle.
What's an air rifle? I don't even know what an air rifle is.
Well, it uses air to push the pellets out, and you usually go hunting. Yeah, but you go hunting for rabbits.
But who's to say that some person can't go buy one of those and hurt another
But
person?
in the UK, when we first emigrated 19 years ago, my husband bought his rifles with him. We went to Heathrow to say, hey, we're taking three air rifles through, and we got a dirty look from, from the guys. They were just like, yeah, it's an air rifle. Get out of here.
Do they
We
not?
landed at
Can they not
Perth.
kill
Oh
people?
my God!
Hang on. I'm not understanding. Can air rifles not kill people?
You'd be pretty hard pressed to kill someone with an air rifle. In fact, you'd kill them easier by turning it around and thwacking them with it.
Yeah, but even BB
What's
guns
the
are dangerous
what's the
as well,
purpose of
you
an air
know.
rifle? I don't know. This
Because
is
if you like
just-
eating wood pigeon, the food of kings, then you want to shoot it with an air rifle. Because
you
anything
know the
else, you're going to
pellets.
obliterate the meat. So.
But see, if you aim that gun like an air rifle and the pellet comes out and you get someone in the eye, you used to say that that's to go right through your eye and your head.
You've got to do
Little
that
kids,
at point blank.
Little kids.
Yeah, but little kids, you behave appropriately. It's called parenting, people.
Still, if they're not around, they don't run the risk.
Yeah, that's
No,
my
they're
opinion on it.
locked up, like anything.
Well,
Yeah,
you'd
well,
hope
they
so.
should be locked
But
up,
we
but
don't
they might
actually
not be.
behave
Yeah, but you could say it might
perfectly.
not if what maybe
Well,
about anything.
Yeah, and when there's risk involved to people, I think the might not is
But
the
there's a
right
difference
way to
between
go.
an air rifle and a semi-automatic gun that
course
fires
there is.
100, and that's
there's a
that's what
difference,
what our laws don't differentiate particularly. Is my understanding. God, I wish my son was here.
We've got to go. We've got to go. The debate won't stop going, but we have to go. Thank Deanna. Deanna, we see you on West TV as well. With
Yes,
the
I'm hosting a program called Undercurrent. at the
Undercurrent
moment.
on
Yeah,
Community
yeah,
TV.
On WTV.
Community TV. The people in Victoria and New South Wales and South Australia won't get to see that.
No, but if you're in Perth, you will.
But in
Winner.
Perth you will.
Winner.
Who's the winner?
For the glasses.
Who won?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, the last one. We had the best discussion on the last one. All right? Last one? All right. Nice to have you here. Did you enjoy it?
Thank you for having me. Thanks, ladies.
Do you know what? Next time you're going to sing for us, right?
Yeah,
What-
with Alex.
Why don't you do... Yeah. Do that Italian song that you won. What did you do? Come second or did you win all
came
that?
second.
You came second.
Did she come second to you?
No prize for second. Lulu, terrific to have you here.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We'll have them all again soon. Terrific to have you at home watching us tonight. Terrific to have our panellists and terrific to have our crew helping out and putting it all together here on West TV. And we'll see you next week. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. This is where you want it. Yeah. What's going on there? Okay.